everyone, I'm Sure Simmer here, so welcome back. I'm on the field still, right after I had finished up recently. You can see the growth stage is 5 of 7, so we basically have 3 months until these sunflowers are going to be ready. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. If I need to do anything in between with the cows, I'll certainly pop in and mention that. But otherwise, I guess I'll see you in, what would it be? January, I think. Alright, so I've actually just popped forward one day and taking a look at things, decided I'm going to go ahead and do a few things. So the first is, my TMR is starting to run low. I had 15,000 or so at the time we were on yesterday, or in October. And you can see now I'm down below 8,000, so if I go forward another day, they're going to run out of food. So I need to go ahead and get the TMR over to them. And then when I do that, I'm going to have to go ahead and get this thing moving again, because both silage and mineral feed is running a bit low. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy some mineral feed. And before I move the TMR, I think I'm going to go ahead and get the mixer ready to go. So I'm going to do that work first, just because I'm really low. If you look at the TMR mixer, we're down to 49 liters and 105 liters of hay and silage. So I'm going to get everything topped up. We obviously have the straw bales sitting out there yet. So the real trick here is going to be how long this silage is going to last, because I'm going to likely have to start doing things pretty quickly to get more in there. So I'm going to have to mow a grass field. So what I may actually do in this interim time is kind of rethink what I just had suggested a moment ago. And I may do this off-season work and get more stuff in the bunker, so forth, so that we have everything moving. Because the other thing that is happening is the cows are getting close to reproducing, and as they start to have more cows, obviously we're going to start to need more food. Yeah, I had to do cleanup outside the bunker the other time. There's I guess a flaw or something that it shoves things through that concrete wall if I keep coming in from the side. So I think I'm actually going to come in this way. And then I think it'll be okay. Yeah, it doesn't appear to have that same flaw, but if you come in from the side, it creates a bit of a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and actually fill up the silage here. And I will be back once I've got that done. Alright, so I've got the silage basically full. It's right above about 18,000. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bale of hay. And we'll see how that does. I should be able to just put that in the spot here, and it should just take it. But we'll take a look. So I think if I leave it, it'll grab it. There, you can see it going up. Alright, so I can certainly fit another. So there's really no point, you know, this is part of why I wanted the TMR mixer, is that I don't have to play a game of just, you know, how big a bale, how much do I dump in the wagon, and so forth. So the nice benefit here is I just keep that thing kind of topped up, and that will just become kind of part of farm maintenance, you know, probably every day or so. Certainly when I empty it, because I think at this point, you know, now that I take that. Alright, so it's 18,000. Again, I'm sure the silage will do 18, but straw's only doing 9, because we need less of it. And then obviously we know the mineral feed fills up. So let me go grab that. Alright, so here we are. We'll see if we put this down, if I can leave it this time. It looks like it's going to continue to dry. No, it actually left it. So I think we're okay. So let me just shut myself off. Yep, so we are fully loaded out. So this mixer is ready to start producing the moment I take anything away from it, which is exactly what I'd like. We're going to head on up with the trailer now and get the TMR and get that over to the cow shed. And my next course of business, I think, will be to work on these grass fields. Alright, so hopefully this will work. I have not tried to see, because yeah, it looks really close on getting under here. In fact, that's what I was worried about. So I can't fit under there with this trailer. I don't know that the other one is any lower. That's next to me there. Alright, so I'm pretty sure the TMR mixer is lower. There's a possibility I was thinking of reconfiguring the trailer. It might be able to take off those edges and have a lower capacity, but at that point I might just be better off running this back and forth a few times. It's not like it's that far. I already own this. I mean, it would potentially be nice to sell it off. It's $34,000, but if I can't, because I can't fit, I guess this will be my best option. And what I may do is sell this off and maybe get a smaller trailer, but for now, I'll go ahead and use this. Well, let me just take a quick look at the store. Quick peek at the store, and to basically not owe more money, because basically I was looking for if I could just sell this and outright get a trailer, because I thought maybe because this was a TMR mixer, it would come at a premium price, and I'm sure it did initially, but at this point it's worth just under $35,000. And so at that level, I'm really looking at trailers that are the same size. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get this dumped in here. Now obviously it's going to think it's mixing some. You know, it's going to be going ahead and starting to generate more TMR, so that'll be the other difference. Is at this point, you know, some will be falling out, but as you can see, we're already consuming some mineral feed. Alright. So, 22,000. And so, you know, the difference is obviously I could have emptied that entire thing with one trailer load if I would have been able to pull it. But I can't, and I like that trailer for crops, so I'm certainly not going to just swap that out and get a smaller one. And as I said, it isn't that terribly far, but to kind of empty that entire TMR mixer is going to take me basically 3 trips if I was to truly empty it. But what I'll likely do is just take 2 loads, and we'll let the TMR mixer go forward, and that way I'll, you know, have the 44,000 every time it fills up if I need to. And, you know, the real question will be how much do I want to process through the TMR mixer? Because as mentioned, I believe this barn is going to take significantly more TMR than what I have here. Now, I don't know that I've had this much delivered in there, the 44,000 I'm going to do, so you can see the hay in the meantime has vanished, so that has now been fully consumed. So it's a little bit of tight quarters here, but it's not bad, and it's certainly not super small. Okay, so even at that point, I am not considered under enough. Now I am. Alright, so at this point, we're good, and I'll probably just stop here, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to run. It looks like we had 5,400 left over right now, just because it's making more TMR as I'm doing this. Because I think otherwise it has like 46,000, so we really should have only had like 2,000 more, but it's showing 5,400 just because of what it was able to create. And if I go ahead and put this in, cows should be set for a little while. Actually, it's that 3,700. I don't know why I thought it was 5,000. But you can see we've got 51,000 liters, and we can take a lot more than that. So again, I'm not sure if by next month we'll have some cows, but we may double ourselves and be up to 40. At this point, I also had to move the mineral feed pallet a little bit because it wasn't taking it. But right now, we'll be replenishing the TMR, and I'll just kind of keep an eye on that. But at some point, I'm just going to need to get into a pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and get the mowers. And the other thing I can do, which perhaps might be the smarter thing to do now that I think about it, is to go ahead and cut some trees down and get them to the sawmill to work on planks, which is going to be the next thing I need in the next level of VIP orders. And since that'll take a little bit of time, it may be worth going along. So I've got some trees on the property, a good amount of them honestly, but the real trick will be, how do I load them up? And what I may do, because I'm not normally doing forestry, I may, if it becomes more common, I'm not going to do this, but I think I'm going to just get them loaded using some less than realistic means, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm able to move a couple of these without any tricks, but I may end up using some super strength just to get this done. Alright, so because this should hopefully be very infrequent, and frankly, logging is one of the tasks I truly detest. Rock picking's probably the only other one that might exceed it. Rather than investing in some type of equipment to be able to do things, or my other solution is cut things super small, I'm taking that little bit of a shortcut. But again, this isn't a realism series, it's not anything like that, so I'm not going to be hardcore and spend money, frankly, I don't have, given that I'm down to 27,000, you know, even to lease equipment to put what I hope is more than enough logs onto the trailer. So looking at where this is, actually, I think if I take this road along the river, that's going to be the best way to get to the sawmill. So I may need to look around a bit, but hopefully the visibility I have on the mini-map will be enough. Because, yeah, I guess I could go this way and go in between these fields, because I know I need to head that way. So, not been this way before, so this is definitely a bit of an exploration. I think this was another field I could have... Yeah, definitely the one I would have looked at was right next to me. And then there's some more fields kind of in this direction. Alright, 18 is there. So this may not be exactly the way I want to go, but I don't know that there's a terrific way other than that. So I'm hoping then roads head down this way. And this, I think, now gets us in the correct direction, because the edge of our world is right there, I believe. And so I think we can see the sawmill over there. So I'll just keep heading this way. But yeah, I think 15 or 17 were one of the other really nice fields. 18 was actually quite good too, but as you can see, as we talked about, it's not the easiest thing to get to these. So there's the sawmill up on the hill. The question now becomes, how does one get to said sawmill? Thinking that road over there, because nothing else is over to the left here. I'm just verifying I in fact did buy the sawmill. I did, because the last thing I want to do is sell a tree and then again have to go through this again. So nice little space here to get some things done, and we'll just have to determine where do we sell the wood. I think it would be here, because those are wood chips. So yeah, I believe it's this. So that building is the biomass plant. So if I undo these, and there we go, Piglet Sawmill. So there we go. So now you can see we're making wood planks, and we've already got 2. So wow, this goes pretty fast. But the challenge is, sadly, I don't have, I think, enough. I think I'm short. Yeah, I'm going to need 4,000 planks. Although, hold on, because for 3 we get 4, so I might actually be okay. Because yes, I need 4,000 planks. So we'll give it a go and hope that that's all we need. So I'll see you back at the farm. I'm actually popping back in here because the other thing I just thought of, trying to run one of these fields, think about how challenging it would be to get implements here. This is actually widened up from where we were near the sawmill. We would have a really hard time getting almost anything over here. So running a harvester down these roads to try to get to these fields would be unpleasant, to say the least. I'm trying to see, but I don't think there's a way to get across there, so I do have to go down. So again, I'll see you on the farm. Back on the farm. Benefits of trying to plan ahead is that we'll have those planks generating as I'm doing other things now. So we'll continue to set ourselves up, hopefully, for some good success. Right now, I think really our time factor is going to be the slurry. But if we double our cows shortly, can I not, do I not have a front? I thought I could use any tractor with this, but oh, I guess I can. I just need to line up with it appropriately. But we're at noon. we've got trade to the sawmill. Again, I do appreciate the purists may be really upset with me. I'm hoping it's not enough if you've been enjoying this series to get people to say, forget it, I'm done. Because I'm trying to be at least fair gameplay as I go through this, but there's really not a lot of restrictions on this series other than just using things that are available in mods, and like it or not, sometimes the mods give you a little bit of an advantage. So, you know, we're using one of the mods that gives us super strength in the event we need it, and in that case, I felt we needed it. So, but what I'm going to do now is fire these things up. Now, lower them. Well, maybe I don't want to lower these yet. I want to lower the front one for sure, because we're headed in there. But the problem is we're, you know, cutting grass over there, and I don't necessarily want to be doing that. Right, so now we're good. I'm gonna set my track on the GPS, and ultimately I'm going to want to go to the side, but for now, as we drive around, we'll just do that. We'll drive around. So the issue I've got is I need to make both silage and hay. So I think the smart thing to do will be turn one of these fields into bales and ted the other field. And actually, I don't need to turn anything into bales now that I think about it. I just need to ted the field to turn it into hay. But I can just use the forage wagon to pick things up. The biggest challenge is I can't store anything, but that doesn't become too terrible of a challenge. Other than it might be a bit sloppy, but they're grass fields, and I mean, yes, I have cattle running around on some of them, so maybe what I'll do is I'll use this one for hay, because there's nothing then that will take place on this field. I just don't know how it works if I leave things on the field and things start to grow. I mean, in theory, I should just be able to pick it up, right? Because my thought was I'll just let things sit on the field, and as I need it, I'll pick them up, and then I'll move them to the TMR mixer. And the grass will grow, and then I'll just be able to mow, and then turn around and do what I need. So I think I'm going to run another pass here. But yeah, with the windrower and the tedder, I'm good to go. I've got those little pieces as we turn that kind of miss functioning within the mower properly. But you know, if I leave this as hay, make the other field grass, I'll collect that, because to turn it into silage I do have to collect it. But for this one, I just need to ted it, and probably windrow it once I do that, so that it's just easy to pick up with the forage wagon. Although, no, that'll be okay. I can't get under the output. I was thinking to myself, well, I can't fit with the forage wagon, because the forage wagon is just as tall, but I'm not going underneath that portion with the forage wagon. That's the output. The input are just open pits, so I can use any size thing there. So yeah, I think that plan will work out. And we'll see how that feels and see what it looks like. And I may decide I do need to clean up the field and bale it. It's possible, if things are spread on the ground, that grass won't grow. I don't actually know how that works, because I've never done that. This is another thing I don't know. If I mow and it's raining, am I going to lose grass? And do I lose yield of any kind or not? All these questions, I don't have any answers. And I don't know how we would know, frankly. Alright. So I think at this point I'm okay for just running this through and mowing and then turning around. Because, yeah, with some versions, we were not able to... I guess I need to run another row here so that I'm not going into the edge and mowing way more grass than I need to. So let me turn all this around. And then I'll be able to do the rows across appropriately and not go into the edge of the field and mow that. I'll have enough room to turn around, I believe. So I'll go ahead and run this around the turn here. But yeah, the piece that is an unknown quantity to me to some degree is, I know with seasons before, grass and hay and all of that would vanish from the field with weather. And I don't know if we're in that same position with FS22 or not, because obviously the seasons implementation is a little bit, as we talk about animals, for example, or if they're not fed, they won't die on you, which was something that Seasons had introduced in FS19. But I think that was really the hardcore realists that were all about that. Now again, if you use Seasons, you didn't really have a choice. It's how it functioned. So we all learned to deal with it, but I'd certainly make different choices if I couldn't decide to go ahead and not really worry about something unless I needed the output and so forth. Whether it's it being healthy to sell the animal itself, in the example of, say, pigs, or cows as we have now if I wanted to produce dairy. So, good news is we have a cloud behind this rain cloud, which hopefully means that the rain is not going to be long-lasting. Because I would certainly enjoy not having to contend with the possibility of losing grass and so forth, because my intent is to go and mow both fields, as I've done before, and then come around and do other things. But what I'll probably do, I'll mow these, I will then collect and try to create silage, because there's the potential other problem is regardless of where I sit in the bunker, it tells me how much silage I have. I don't know if I suddenly dump grass in there, can I have grass and silage mixed and then cover it separately as long as I keep them apart. I'm half wondering if I should, now that I think about this, maybe I'll change my plan and turn everything into hay. Because the reason I'm doing this is I'm running low on hay bales. All I've got is what's left there, and we have to buy or make more of it. And I still have 200,000 liters of silage. So now I'm beginning to second guess my plan, which you'll find is common with me, but it's happens more so, it seems, in this series because of the complexities of what the VIP demands bring to your assessment of what to do next. It's less a, I feel like doing this, and more a, I'm going to do this because these are the orders I have coming up next. And so let me get these couple passes done to finish this field, and I'll show you what I'm thinking about in the event you maybe haven't watched previous episodes, or you've simply forgotten because this farm isn't top of mind in details that you spend your mental memory containers storing. So, looks like two more. We've got to go back one more time to get the partial. But the nice thing is, yes, we're able to mow pretty quickly. So I will go ahead and still put the GPS on this so that I don't have to drive and get to drive a little crooked. Alright, so there we go. Field 11. All set. So we've taken care of the hay for level 5, but we're going to need just about the same amount at level 6. And then a lot at level 8. And grass doesn't require preparation. The hay does, but then I also need, you know, to store it. Now again, hay that's being delivered, I don't necessarily want to... Oh, I'm second-guessing myself on that too, because what would be the harm in letting it lay on the field and then going ahead and just picking it up and delivering it when I need to, as long as it doesn't vanish. So I may do that. Because, yes, as I think this through, we've got 200,000 liters of silage, and yes, we've used about 50,000 liters already, so I may be consuming it a lot quicker than I think, but you know, I'll have enough warning, certainly, before I need to worry about doing anything else and running out, where I could suddenly start to throw some grass into silage, because this will grow again. So we'll get that done, lower that, start that up. Just trying to start it, which I can't do. And then I'll be able to start it in this position, but until I lower it, it doesn't do anything. So now we're in the same boat here, where we just need to mow this up. And so we've got the small section here that's limed, that is going to be in better shape. But I'm going to go ahead and get this work done as far as mowing, and then I'll be back here with the tedding. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got all the mowing done. Rain has stopped. Again, don't know if there's any kind of a yield problem because of the rain, but visually I don't know that I see anything less here. So we're getting all this turned over so that we have hay. So we'll go head down this way. This is definitely a pretty nice animation on how the game does this. And I do love how the tedder looks when it's operating. Throws things up. in a really interesting way. But you can tell there's a lot going on to turn this into hay. So keep going around. I think I ran into this problem before when I tried to do the grass work, although I think I was also trying to bale the field at the same time, which we're not doing. But what I will certainly do is windrow it, and there should be enough time with how everything works here to do that. Missed a little bit there. Don't want that wasted. So I think in this case, because I'm not mowing and I'm just spinning things, I only need the one headland around. I don't need more than that. But we'll get this down. And now start going across and get these fields done. And then next step will be to get them windrowed so that they can be collected up. This is my last pass down the field. This is the second field, so wrapping this up. And it is winter, so it is getting dark a bit early. And it is only, well, as far as the day goes, it's 6:15, 6:20, so it's not super late, even though it looks incredibly dark. So there's a little bit of confusion or an illusion there of how much time has passed, but it's not super early either. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put away, but I've been kind of debating. I think I'm still gonna go ahead and leave this here, and we'll just see how it goes. Obviously, if it does deteriorate in some way, I'm going to be losing that, but I don't know if it's doing that until I try it. So I'm going to take that chance at this point, but my thought for a while was, well, I'll just bale it because that's kind of the most versatile option, where if I need to go take it for sale, I can do that. Or if I need to feed or put it in the TMR mixer, I can do that. But if I can leave it on the field, I can always bale it when I need to take it, or could also make the attempt, to try to take it to the sorry, just trying to get this. Oops, that's too much. So yeah, this one's always fun to try to figure out the best way to back this up. But I can always bale it up if I need to later as well. So leaving it on the field doesn't preclude being able to bale it. The only place I'll really lose, as I said, is if suddenly weather does deteriorate it. I may suddenly end up with much less material. So I'm gonna head over onto the porch by the house here. So I'm at 49,000 capacity of food left. So I'm in good shape there. 42,000 slurries, so we're getting about halfway to what we need, which is the 98,000. So obviously 49,000 is really what we need. My hope is, obviously, I'll start accumulating more slurry quickly once I get doubling of my cows. But the confusing part here is on my planks. If you recall, I had about 3,700 liters of wood, and I now am down to obviously 1,400, but I've barely got 1,000 planks. So I read this recipe to indicate that 3 pieces of wood, 3 liters of wood, would produce 4 liters of planks and 0.15 liters of wood chips. But that doesn't appear to be what is happening. So the only thing I could think of is because I had wood chips being sold at one point instead of stored, somehow changing the outgoing product on one, that the planks may have somehow been sold. Because I think I only had like 300 planks not too long ago, so it's possible that was what was happening. There's not really a way that I know of to be able to tell. We're still producing lettuce, so that is continuing to operate. And our TMR is nearly full again, so I'm going to go ahead. Well, I mean, I'll be able to get full, I think, but then shortly I'm going to go ahead and fill that up tomorrow as well, for certain. So it's bright December morning. I'm slowly chewing away at my money, because obviously I've got all those costs that are running along. I have now completed everything with the wood, but I only have 3,103 liters, so I'm going to need some more wood to continue to produce things. Slurry is at 45,000. I'm still only at 90% reproduction, so I'm not going to have additional cows until later, till the next day still. So it does look like slurry is going to be the long pole in the tent. So now that I know where the sawmill is and which direction I need to go, it does appear I can go here along field 13. So that is certainly nice. So I'm able then to come along here. This is the road I had come up from the river. So now I'm proceeding as I had with the first tree. But at this point, this will certainly get me to 4,000 liters of planks. And now, as I'm wondering, I'm thinking I may have a situation where maybe I do have the 4,000 planks, because what might have been happening is when you store, they do output some pallets until the location is full. So it's possible what I'll find here is that I've got some planks out here, and then I have 3,100 sitting in the sawmill that are still waiting to be output. So yeah, there you go. You can see some pallets there, and my guess is those are planks. We'll take a look at that when I go back. So I may actually have been okay. And now I've just got more than I need. But I'm sure they won't go to waste. At some point I'll need them. So we now are producing more wood. But at this point, to test that out, I'm going to go ahead and change the output mode here to selling. And then these should keep storing. I'm not going to know until the top of the hour. If I have a problem, then I'll find that out later, but let's see what we have. So yes, we actually have 2,000 liters of planks. Plus the 3,100. So it did perhaps work as I had thought. And I didn't need those trees. But live and learn, right? So this is always part of the fun. I'm sure those of you who have used sawmills were telling me that. I'm just a little slow. Obviously, it didn't occur to me that, wait a minute, just like with my lettuce, which is now storing up as well, I've got, I think, 4 pallets of lettuce sitting out, waiting for me to pick up, and it's just accumulating more lettuce that will immediately pop out when I pick those others up. So, all in all, I'm ready with the planks, is what we've got there. And when I come pick them up, I'm going to simply show up with the tractor that has the front loader on it so that I can load those. And then we'll be in great shape there. So the good news, however, is if I need more planks in the future, I've certainly got enough trees sitting around on the yard. You know, I can certainly clear some of these out that are near that field and so forth to just give me some openings. So right now I've just taken out the 2 trees next to the shed roof here, so they were up near that side of the road. Now they're gone. Really can't tell much difference, but we're getting the raw materials we need. But, you know, I can pull things out here. Now, obviously, these trees would be a little more challenging because you're going to have branches everywhere. So the pines are the ones that are the best ones to take out, but we've got several of them available. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and well, actually, I probably don't want to do that, because again, for transporting, these are kind of in a good format for doing that. So let me put these down. Let me now quickly look at my sawmill. Alright, so in fact the wood chips are selling, but the planks are accumulating. So my initial thought is incorrect, so we're actually good. Alright, so I'm going to get the TMR mixer kind of primed and ready to go again. It's got a good amount of straw. It's got about 5,000 liters, but that means I've got room for at least for 1 more bale. But I'm going to go grab some hay off the field here instead of the bale that I had grabbed. Alright, I'm continuing to have a really screwed up morning. So let me take this back. This is not my forage wagon. I need a different wagon to do that with. Now, I had gotten the big tractor because I'm like, no, I think I need a good amount of horsepower to operate this thing. And so I had literally been staring at this and then instead grabbed the other trailer when I came back with the tractor that I had moved over from the trailer that I had taken the tree over to the sawmill with. Alright, so we're going to see if the fill limiter works here. I want 17,000. Okay, so we've lowered the pickup head. There we go. It is clearly hay. That's, of course, what we want. I suppose it doesn't really matter where I get the hay from, so I'll just kind of get around and pick things up best I can. But the hope is, once I hit 17,000, it will stop me, because that's about what I need to fill things. And it should happen pretty quickly, as we can see. I think the grass is growing. I think that's the first state of growth, which is what I wanted, so that I could still hopefully harvest this off the field. I would say if we've lost any material at this point, I'm okay with the amount we've lost, because obviously we're already at 10,000 liters, and We've barely gone around a portion of the field. I'm hoping I can get most of this here, as far as not being told, hey, you don't, there we go. That's what I was worried about, that I don't have access to the land. So there's just a portion. Oops. It's always a bit of a fun struggle trying to get these all lined up. Let me try this. See if I can swing and get most of that picked up. Looks like it worked. So just trying to be as thorough as I can so that I'm not wasting any little bit of hay, because we're going to still have a few little spots here and there that we'll need to get, but I'm guessing pretty shortly here we'll hit our limit that we're targeting. Maybe the end of this row will be good. Alright, there we go. So exactly what we wanted to happen. Because then I don't have extra, because I can't put this in the silo. So then what that would mean is I would be just letting this lay in the trailer. And the nice thing is I think I can just pull in here and then dump it. There we go. And it should take almost all of it, if not all of it. Because I think we can go to 18,000, and we had under 1,000 left, so there we go. So hay is good, hay is full. Just need to straighten out here. I think I'll go put this somewhere back here. So next I need to top off the silage. So that's going to take several scoops of that. So this should be my last scoop of silage. Looks like I'm a little full. So I can go park that back over here. Thing of straw here. Alright, that's right, I keep forgetting straw is the low end here, so we only needed about 4,000, so we're going to have quite a bit there. I'm going to now go ahead and run myself 2 trailers of TMR so that the mixer starts running, and then I'll be able to see, I believe it should stop when one of my products runs low. So right now I'm a little low on mineral feed. I'm going to have to go get that to finish up the next batch of 46,000-ish liters of TMR that this can produce. For now, we'll get this going. And then you can see we're down to 141, and it'll be 140, you know, and it'll slowly start chewing this away. And then I'll have to see where we end up. So I've delivered all the TMR. We're now at 88,000. We're still, I was thinking we might have maybe reached the yellow range, but we have not. Now we're still not halfway down the slurry, so this is taking some time. All right, so just after noon, we're coming up on using up the last bit of mineral feed. So what we should start to see is this not moving. It may move one more time because sometimes it's using pieces. Alright, so yes, now it says materials missing, and you can see it's no longer producing. So it was just kind of a test to understand how things worked. So that if I want to make sure that everything's operating the best way possible. Still a challenge to get that pallet off those forks. I don't know if it's just the mineral feed or pallets in general. I didn't have a problem putting things on the trailer. But at this point, we're running again. Everything's functional. Already up to almost 9,000 liters of TMR again. Planks have now actually exceeded 4,000. And we've still got more processing to do. And over here on my field, I now can't really see over my sunflowers. I gotta hop to see around here. But you can see we're at stage 7 of 7 forage. So if we wanted to, we could chop this up and turn it into silage, but not going to do that. They're worth more the other way, and we've got plenty of fields to do things. But that means tomorrow we're going to be able to harvest these things. Definitely a nice view looking out into, I think, the cereal mill, or maybe the oil mill, over our sunflowers. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a day before the snow comes. But I think at this point I'm in pretty good shape. Positioned as well as I can be. So I'll see you tomorrow. So sadly we continue to chew away, and wow, I guess that snow really was coming. Good news is nothing stops us from harvesting in the winter. So I think we'll be good as long as it's not snowing. And most importantly, what I wanted to take a peek at, we have got now 40 cows. So brand new cows. They're going to have to take getting to 18 months before they can reproduce. So the hope is now the slurry will move a little bit quicker. So we're at 50,000. Need 98,000 to satisfy what we are looking for our VIPs. Our wood is finished running. We've got 8,200 stored plus those 2,000 that are out. So we're in good shape there. Starting to run low on water with our lettuce as well, so gonna have to keep an eye on that. The TMR is just about done. It's still running, but getting very close to being maxed out. But at this point, this was the crucial thing that I thought was going to happen, that I wanted to see, and I have. So I'm guessing, because I think the health goes up by hour, so I'm guessing these got born 8 hours ago, basically right around midnight, which probably makes some sense. If it was not January, although it's pretty bright here, so maybe at 7 a.m. I would have been able to get going, because I'm thinking we're going to have a long day, because the last thing that's wonderful to see, ready to harvest. So I'm going to deal with that next time, but hopefully you've enjoyed all the work we've done to, again, get ourselves set for our VIPs, keep our cows moving along, which will also help because we need to get that slurry going, and I will see you next time.